to catch a predator.
That's our drop? Oh, that's right. We did beat the Preds. Well, wash, rinse, repeat. It's our caption tonight, and there's a reason for it. The Stars did almost the exact same thing. Spot their opponent a 2-goal lead, roar back, special teams, goaltending, and hang on to win 3-2. Take it. We got everybody. We're a little loopy tonight. We watched the Cowboys show do their whole chaotic thing and self-destructiveness. The Mavs are playing, but actually might be winning, maybe. And the Stars. We got a lot going on. We have a lot going on here. This is very Bull Durham. So let's start the show. Caesars. Start it. This is the DLLS Stars post-game show after tell me if you've heard this recently, 3-2 Stars come from behind win. Now insert new team here, the Nashville Predators. As we have Sean Shapiro, I think. We have Craig Ludwig. We have Sam Nessler. We have our producer, Ryan Vodders. I'm Owen Newkirk. Before we get to all the action and changing of facial hairs, let's talk about the DLLS Face-Off Collection, because we have 2 brand new Stars hockey shirts here at DLLS available for sale right now. It looks very similar to the design of a very well-known Texas beverage company. I think that's a very sharp look. And then, of course, we have the Dallas shirt. I'll let Luds describe that one during his ad read because he really nails it. But here's the thing. We have been told by our boss, GM Ben, if we sell 25 as a company, 25 of these shirts this week, he'll give us a free one of these. Luds is going to give you an incentive. I'm not going to share it now. He talked about it in the pregame show, but hang around for the second ad read because Luds will tell you if you get one of those and wear it to something, an extra perk that only our 2-time Stanley Cup winner will do. But here we are. Big win, 3-2 over the Nashville Predators. Again, they only play them 3 times this year instead of 4. That drives me nuts in a divisional format, but whatever. They'll actually be back in Nashville pretty soon, November 8th. They go back again, and then they'll see them again in Dallas after the new year. That's it. 3 games against the division. But, guys, 2 points, 4 points on the weekend. Suddenly, take a look at our trusty notes here. 5-3-1 in their first 9 games of the season. 11 points. That's not too bad for a 9-game start. I mean, they have a chance to get up to 12 or 13 points against the Capitals on Monday. And if you say new head coach, dealing with new systems, struggling with injuries.
Everybody's injured.
The whole league is dealing with that. If you were able to go 6-3-1 or 5-3-2, I think that'd be pretty good. Thoughts?
Yeah. Again, we're less than, I don't get too horny until you get like 20 games.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's early.
But I look at the game tonight and both teams had played the previous night. And yeah, Dallas had to fly a little bit, but it looked like both teams played last night and it was kind of tight. I mean, there were battles that need to be won and battles that were lost on the walls and in front of the net. And it's your 3-2 standard kind of game, and again, Ellie's line is first 1 to 3. There you go. There it is again.
Well, we'll take it. Sean, I mean, it's funny because we like to think we're not as susceptible as the diehard fans to the emotional swings of a hockey season, and yet it affects everybody to some degree. Maybe not quite to the level of the fans below us in the 300 level last night, just pounding, not pounding, cascading obscenities at the Stars when they were losing 2-0 to the Hurricanes last night. Just cursing, cussing, F-bombing, you name it, whatever you want to call it, swearing. And then they come back and win the hockey game. And then they do it again. And now you have a 3-game point streak.
Yeah, and it's everything is impacted, right? We're like we're not living and dying like some other people are, right? But this job is much more enjoyable. This show is much more enjoyable after back-to-back wins. So I'm definitely gonna agree with you on that point. Also, for me, this was a game that it was kind of fun because we felt before the game we felt a little bit prophetic or pathetic depending on how you want to paint me in this light, because I give a bunch of crud to Maverick Bork over the last 48 hours, and then he goes and puts together a nice little play in a key moment that helps win the hockey game. And then we also talked a lot about, hey, Casey DeSmith before this game, and this was an opportunity where maybe the Stars haven't played him enough. Either way, he wasn't good in his first start, and he made a big statement tonight as well. So when you go on the road back to back in the NHL, I know the Predators were also playing a back to back too, but when you go and you get those challenges, good teams find ways to win games this way. And all of a sudden, that kind of 3-game losing streak and everything like that in between, you're like, yeah, that's there, and we don't ignore that it happened, but they might be able to figure this thing out. So.
Sam, what are your first initial thoughts of this weekend series that they've somehow swept?
Yeah, found a way. I think the big one for me, I said to you, Owen, when they first, I don't know if it was 2-2 or they had scored that third goal, but this team, when they play well, it's not that they're just outplaying the opposition. They dominate the opposition when they're playing well. I mean, I'm thinking the first 40 so minutes of Winnipeg, last night when they started to get their game, and then tonight again. It feels like it's almost every night, other than maybe Colorado, that they've found at least 20 to 30 minutes of on their toes, pushing the pace, creating at will. I know you can't control a game for 60 minutes. Too much parity in this.
Well done.
In this league.
Do you want to explain?
No. I think we're good.
Luds,
I think we're good. But
if Ryan wasn't so busy, he would be jumping on this right now. But that's okay.
I just think that the Stars have shown that when they can play well, and they're not even healthy, as we just mentioned, when they can play the way they can play, they are a very, very good team. And I'm really curious to see. They don't have to dominate for 60 minutes. Just find a way not to implode the other 10 to 20 when you're not playing that well. And you're going to win a lot of hockey games, man. So I'm excited to see them put it together more and more and more as they go here.
How are you feeling about Casey DeSmith, Sean, after tonight compared to his first start of the season against Vancouver?
I'm feeling much better. And after his first start of the season, we talked a lot about Casey. He was just kind of relying on his athleticism. It was scrambly. It was messy. Tonight, it was really clean. It was a lot of his saves, even when his best moments are going to look a little bit more frenetic and active than Jake Ottinger, just simply because of the size difference and how the two play. But to me, I'm watching Casey DeSmith play tonight, and his footwork was impeccable, right? Like that's one of the things that I sometimes find myself watching way too much of in the game. I get caught watching how a goalie's footwork and how in the movement and the little 2-foot, the stops and starts and everything like that. And DeSmith's footwork and his crease positioning were so good tonight. The second Stars goal literally comes off a huge save from that moment. You have the flurry at the end of the game. There's athleticism there, but he's in the position to make those reads because of how well he played off of things. I mean, you can switch. Sam's changing the set. I see. That's why we're laughing.
Ryan was just texting Sam hey, the Cowboys helmet is still.
Hey,
that's why we're laughing.
grab the Spanish razor.
Oh yeah, Senor Razor.
Senor Razor.
We were having a laugh tonight because I don't know if everybody is aware of this, but Victory Plus offers both an English and Spanish language broadcast.
It does.
But they don't. From what I understand, is this Ryan, is this official knowledge or is this behind the curtain stuff?
Behind the curtain stuff.
Okay, so it's we were listening to a little bit of the Spanish language broadcast during the first period when things weren't going well for the Stars, and we were having fun with it.
The Spanish language broadcast is public facing.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah.
mean, I've also been told that at some point sooner than later, there'll be other languages one can have as well listening to games. So that is another thing that I've heard with the Victory Plus world. So
Okay.
Sean, are you stirring the pot again somehow? Some way
I'm
here, or-
always attempting to stir the pot, Luds. That is my job. That is why we have podcasts.
That's right.
Check your text, Sean. I'll let you know on a little secret.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this hockey game. Ryan,
Yes.
are you ready for anything yet? Because I feel like you might pass out. Are we good?
I got your
Okay.
text right. Set.
Before we go crazy, do you see that photo that I sent you to Slack? Not ready for that. What about the other stuff? You have breakdowns and stuff? Are we good to start? All right, let's start going through this hockey game.
Curse now?
Let me know when
I
that
don't know
photo
what's
shows
going
up, but
on
that's
anymore.
later. Let's start with where we always start, the beginning of this hockey game. The Stars. That is Ryan laughing about what I just sent him. I'm positive of that. I can't wait. And Sean doesn't know about it, but he knows about it.
Oh no!
Stars,
Oh no!
it was honestly okay. Dallas looked like they had played the night before, but Nashville had too. The difference is the travel. And Luds, I said to you, can that travel be a big difference, even though both teams played the night before? And you said, oh yes.
Well, it's because you're awake when you get off the plane. You're awake when you get on the plane. Then you take the bus ride. Not that the way they travel, it's not that big a deal. But I just find that you're awake. You're just awake and you're traveling and they're probably playing cards. They're not taking a little sleep when they get on the plane.
Right.
So you're kind of wide awake when you get there, and
Yeah.
so you could be rolling around till 3 or 4 in the morning if you don't have a beer or two
Or however you can shut your body down and sleep fast. Well, it looked like the Stars were the team that was low on energy. Nashville was on it early. They get a power play, and they score a guy who always scores against Dallas, Jonathan Marchessault. So take us through it.
Yeah, a little guy pays the price in front. A couple question marks for me is right off the faceoff. I was curious here on this first one where Dallas loses the draw right off the jump. And speaking of jump, Miro Heiskanen, I don't typically see this, but Miro, when they lose the faceoff, Miro takes off. And generally you don't see a defenseman going out there, and that would be the centerman going out there. As he goes out there, he ends up dropping his stick. And so now he's on his way back to the net, and which is very rare. But Esa and Heiskanen, once it gets back to the net, are both boxed out by the two forwards in front. And it's just a real nice shot from the point. O'Reilly gets a tip on it. And as you can see, what happens here is O'Reilly, after he gets a tip on it, he ties up Esa's stick. So Esa's pretty much done. Heiskanen's on the other side of Marchessault, and there's really not a lot here after that Casey's going to be able to do here. And Marchessault, like you said, does what he do when he's in front of that net. And again, Miro doesn't have a stick. He's chasing from out at the point all the way back. And it's just a case of being outnumbered. I mean, that's what it is on a power play, and they box both of these guys out.
It's Marchessault's third of the year. O'Reilly and Forsberg, the assists. They have the lead. They had another great grade A chance on a Cole Smith catch and release in the slot with traffic. Casey DeSmith, Sean's talking about his footwork, was able to get over, make a really strong save there. And then Luds, 5-on-3. Stars get the power play. By the way, at the end of the 5-on-3, because of a Wyatt Johnston penalty, I thought that call was trash.
It was soft.
It was a real, referees looking to make up a call because Nashville got called for 2 in quick succession, and they're like, oh, well, we got to do something about it, rather than just call what's in front of them.
Yeah.
But that happens.
It happens.
So, on the 5-on-3, Dallas had one grade A look, and it was their only high danger of the first period, and you wanted to show us all the breakdown.
Well, if people were actually watching it and wondered why Tyler missed the net on this one, it's hard to see because it's a little blurry, but the puck stands up flat. And Tyler's trying to get this, up in the top of the net. But unfortunately, the net that he hit was a net that goes around protecting the fans. And he put it about 40 feet in the air. He just kind of scooped it and ended up going. It might not even hit the net. It might have blown right over the top of the net. But it was somewhere up in that area there. But again, in Tyler's defense, he's trying to get that just underneath the bar. And his trajectory was off a little bit.
There's going to be some rating here.
Yeah, I think the angle of his
You
shot.
just write miss.
His launch angle.
I did. Didn't I?
I don't know.
I think I did. I think he said I missed the net on that one, didn't I?
Was there
Well,
any
Sam's giving
Luds
me
writing on
hard
this
time
one?
over here. There you go. Just missed.
That's too funny. Amazing. So we are going to do a quick ad break and we get back into it because I know Luds wrote a lot more words. Outside. We're going to get to that next year on the DLS Stars post-game show.
That's amazing. All right. But first, I want to talk to you about Monarch Money because you guys know a lot about Monarch Money because I tell you about it very often. But what you didn't know is that Monarch Money is a big believer in love. And let me come back to that in a moment here. Monarch Money is the best financial tool to get all your finances in check and in one place. Puts all of your investments, accounts, debt, 401k, everything that you have financially, puts it in one clear picture and one place so that you can keep track of everything, hit your savings goals, pay off debt, whatever your goal might be. Monarch Money has the answer for you. One of Wall Street or Forbes' best app for couples. There you go, coming back to it. And best budgeting app for 2025 by the Wall Street Journal. But money can break up couples. Monarch Money brings those couples together.
I don't know why you're pointing at me.
Because you love love.
I do.
You're a big love guy. So I want to point to you about love.
I support love.
Everybody here is.
Yes.
Yeah, well, maybe not Luds. But don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code DLS at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year. Monarchmoney.com with code DLLS.
Thank you, Sam. It is 5K season in DFW, probably because it's not a billion degrees outside. And there's no better way to join the fun than at the official Texas Rangers 5K presented by Medical City Healthcare, set for November 9th at Globe Life Field. I know Sam has already signed up to run, but this is a race you won't want to find, or you won't find anywhere else, with a course that offers scenic views of Arlington's entertainment district and ends with an unforgettable finish directly on the field at the home of the Texas Rangers. That's how Sam is going to get on to the field at Globe Life.
Oh, yeah.
The fun doesn't end there. All participants are invited to a Texas-sized post-race party in the outfield featuring yard games, a live DJ, appearances by Rangers captain, the mascot, it should say, because it should be capital C, and much more. Whether you're a veteran marathoner, a regular at your local run club, or a newbie, the Texas Rangers 5K is a perfect event for runners of all levels, with a traditional 5K and fun run options available. 5K participants will receive a ticket voucher to a 2026 Texas Rangers home game upon registration, and all participants will receive a commemorative Texas Rangers 5K t-shirt. Registration closes November 2nd, so run over to globelifefield.com/Rangers5K, the number 5, to secure your spot today. It's right on the screen. globelifefield.com/Rangers5K. All right, let's continue to break this one down as we get you into the second period. The Stars had 5 shots on goal in the first, 4 scoring chances, 1 quality high danger chance. It was all Preds. They had 9 scoring chances. They had 3 high dangers, 2 of them on that power play, 1 right after that. It was not looking good for your little Dallas Stars. And then they turned it around by creating a power play that didn't score. They were dangerous. They had, well, actually, you know what they did first is they gave Ryan O'Reilly a backhand shorthanded chance. But then Rantanen, backhander in the slot. Sagan, one-timer in the right slot. Rantanen, redirection tip play at the crease. They were making Justus Annunen really work. Luds, it's always nice when your power play scores, but if you generate chances, that can still be a positive momentum builder, even if you don't put it in the back of the net.
Yeah, and it's important. Like you talk about momentum, and it falls on, obviously, the guys that start the momentum, but anybody that comes out after that, you got to keep it moving along. And they did that. Started to turn the game around.
Sean, did you like Annunen's play in this one, especially in the second and third periods when he got a lot of work?
I mean, he was good too. He played, both him and Casey DeSmith answered the bell for after what I talked about before the game, where this could be a 7-6 game based off how they both played their first game and everything like that. So yeah, I thought I'm not really sold on him as an NHL goalie, honestly. He's a guy who I never understood why Colorado made the trade for Scott Wedgwood for him. I never understood that deal at all. So I always have a negative view of his play, frankly. It's just I don't really see why you would use an NHL asset on him. And I think the Predators have really botched their goaltending plan. So he was very good,
especially since they had Yaroslav Askarov too, and I know Sean's thinking about that.
for all the things that they had, and then this is so. To all that being said, with all my negative thoughts, because I am just the most evil person in the world here, he was good tonight. So,
yeah, he was. But
Yeah.
the Stars did not turn that into goals right away, because after the power play ended, Spencer Stastny was given a rather wide open lane, Luds, to make it 2-0.
Yeah, and you know, the game within the game, there's a lot of 50-50 battles that happen all over the ice, generally along the walls, and that it was a result of this goal, and it's kind of how it started from the Preds standpoint. and Adam Ernie, well, we're going to take a look at Sagan airing one out here again and pulling the Jordan, but here on the wall, this first one, Ernie gets out muscled by the puck over here, that 50-50, and it was a tough puck. It comes around the wall, loses that battle. Here's another one with Richkovian right in that same little area. This battle gets lost here, and that's how this play opens up. And here comes Stastny coming right down the pipe, and there's a lot of ice here. But if you look on the left-hand side, when Lyubushkin gets tied up with Jost does a smart thing, is he just starts to move away from the net. Lyubushkin follows him over there, which opens up the lane a little bit more. And then I think the only way we look at this is just a great shot. I mean, sometimes you just got to give the shooter credit, and that he puts it up over his shoulder.
I'd love to hear, Sean, if you think Jake, not that Jake makes that save because just being a better goalie, but does Jake make that save because of his size?
I mean, it's a great shot. I'm not going to.
It's a great shot. I'm not blaming at all. I'm really just curious if maybe Jake's shoulder is a little bit harder to get it over there.
Maybe, but also is Jake playing as aggressive there? I mean, it's hard to kind of completely transpose it, but I don't want to. That's a world-class finish, right? Like that. Sometimes you just want to tip your cap to that. So
the 2-0 lead is eerily similar to last night, where the Hurricanes had a 2-0 lead in the first period after outplaying the Dallas Stars. But then Dallas came back. This time, we were already in the second period, and it was, pardon the pun, Oskar Bäck who got things going. First game of the season, hadn't scored for a while, even prior to that. I think he was on an 11 or 12 game point or goal drought ending last year's regular season, because he's not a big-time goal scorer. But this is a pretty nice redirection to get him and his team on the board.
Yeah, it is. And again, we talked about 50-50 battles earlier, and this same thing here. Radek Fox, who wins this loose puck, he's got some pressure on him, wins the loose puck, and once he turns the corner, he comes across the top of the circle. There you go, 50-50 battle, won again. He comes across the top of the circle, but Beck he comes out high enough from around the front of the net, doesn't try to go anywhere else. Nice lane for him. Gets the puck through here, and you can see he lifts up his left leg, and somehow he gets his stick just barely on this puck and ends up tipping it between his legs. And again, I think from a goaltender standpoint here, he probably can't see this either.
Yeah, look at the traffic in front of him. What a redirection. Yeah. Beck makes it a 2-1 game. Fox gets the primary assist. And I'm not sitting here telling you that Oskar Bäck is going to be the missing piece that puts this all together, but Glenn Gulson was really high on Beck during training camp in the early part of preseason before he picked up the injury. He really liked that line in that, preseason schedule where they were playing Beck, Fox, and Bastian. And it's great to see something cash in early on for them, because that could be a very consistent, very heavy fourth line.
I think they're reliable. I mean, they're steady Eddies. Yep. You know what you get from them. They don't try to do too much. They don't try to create opportunities going the other way. They don't play a high-risk game. It's get pucks in, get pucks out, and get pucks to the net.
Beck's first NHL game and NHL goal without braces from his broken jaw.
That's right. Yes, because he had them on all last year. The Stars would tie it later in the period. In fact, with just about 3.5 minutes to go in the second frame, 2-on-1 Wyatt Johnston from Jason Robertson with a bit of a twist involved.
Yeah, you know what? If you're an opponent, these are probably the last two guys you want to see coming down on it 2-on-1, and it's clear right from the center line. But it's a couple smart plays here for me. And I talk about defenseman here. I think he's over too far to his left. He just opens up the middle lane here. But as you can see, his stick's in the right lane, but the lane isn't really open. When you got, Robo's coming down on his backhand side, the smart play is by Wyatt. So what Wyatt does, once they get just across the lane, in order to open up more passing space for Robo to get that puck over to him, he pivots and he turns and he kind of starts skating backwards a little bit. But what he does then is he's a right-handed shot. Now his stick blade is behind him. And so now that passing lane that was very narrow and Robo turns to his forehand, now he can find that passing lane. Robo puts it right on the tape. And then as Wyatt turns, he collects the puck and he turns and he takes it to the net. And he's got this one little move. And, you know, and see, like here, that's how small the lane is. When he turns, now you can see how big the lane comes, the passing lane for Robo. Now it's a little bit wider. Guys aren't back into play. Robo does a good job getting that puck across here. And when Wyatt goes to the net, just when he goes to make his move, like Wyatt gets credit for this goal. And he's the one that, this goal goes 5-hole, right? But he is trying to, in my belief, is he's trying to get this back to Robo. And it just rolls off because right there, the angle of his stick, that's not a 5-hole shot.
Yeah.
He's trying to swipe this back to Robo so Robo can one-time it in the net. And he gets fortunate. I think he hits the goaltender in the left kind of pad over here somewhere, and it sneaks through the 5-hole. So, but again, nobody for the Dallas Stars is hotter than Wyatt Johnston when it comes to scoring goals. And it sneaks through here. And I think I got the very last shot, and you can see where that path, that play right there, he's coming over here to Robo.
It sure looks like
Yeah.
it.
And so when you're hot, you're hot. And, you know,
Team leading,
you don't apologize for it.
6th goal of the year for Wyatt. Robo has the assist. That was his first of the night. He would actually pick up another one on the game winner, which we'll talk about in a minute. But with all the injuries, including Rope Hintz not being in the game tonight because of the injury last night, it was so important for Wyatt, Robo, Rantanen to step up their game, and they all did. Now, Rantanen is going to score a big goal later, but he was all over this power play 5-on-5 second and third period. He is exactly what he is expected to be. He doesn't always do what he did in Game 7 against the Avalanche in the first round, but he plays the same way.
Are you finding that every night you're trying to find different adjectives to describe him? I mean, because he does the same thing
just
every
for
night.
variety's sake.
Yeah, and again, this is why everybody wanted this guy.
And it's not just the crazy goal. What a pass. It's, remember the little pass off the boards. But
it's like 2-foot plays.
The quick little play is just always the right one.
Between his back, I mean, behind his back, between his legs, he turns his back. He's like he's got eyes in the back of his head. But again, for young players, the one thing that Mikko does better than anybody around here that I've seen for a long time is he knows where he's going with the puck before he gets it. He, as somebody else has the puck, and if it's on the outside of the rink, if we could zoom in on his head, his eyes are always looking around, and so when he gets it, he already knows where the other 4 players are on his team, and that's why he makes it look easy.
He's great at when he's chasing a loose puck too. Looking over his shoulder, like he's immediately able to do it.
6'4", and he's looking over the top of everybody.
I did just notice Robo played 24 minutes tonight.
That's never happened to you, Sam.
I didn't even.
You can kind of look over there.
Never misses an opportunity for a short joke. I love it.
Yeah.
Sean, you're chomping at the bit.
I mean, there's a couple of things to hop in on that. First, it's the Rantanen is the scanning he does is as Luds was just talking about. It's so impressive. If there's a nerdy hockey thing you just want to kind of watch and on a shift to shift basis, just watch the way he scans and everything like that, and the little motions there. But the person who he doesn't actually get an assist for it, but I mentioned earlier, but like this goal comes off. I think this sequence is important to talk about. It's the Stars stinging Nashville on the other end on the 2-on-1, but this one comes off of a save where, in the spirit of the things, Casey DeSmith probably should get an assist on the play. Where it's the Predators come in. And he makes a really good save on the one-timer in a kind of a pseudo rush chance one-timer where the play is going to DeSmith's left. He goes down. He slides left. He stops. He stops with his left pad on the ice. And what we saw in the Vancouver game for DeSmith is that pad would have stayed on the ice. And all of a sudden he goes full scramble body mode, and who the hell knows what happens next. He reads the play so well in that moment, and he regains his footwork, gets to his spot, gets square, gets back, makes the one-timer in basically a pseudo rush one-timer save look easy. That leads to the big puck popping out going the other way for this for the 2-on-1 the other way. So it's one of those moments where, like, I look at that, and we're going to talk a lot about DeSmith later in the game, what he does at the end of the third and everything like that. But those moments to me that's the save. That's the moment where we said he needed to be good. He wasn't just good in that moment. He was great. The execution of making the save the right way, being sharp. That's what makes the rebound go out that right direction and send it that way, as opposed to probably still makes the save if he's just trying to be an athlete there, but it's a little bit uglier and it doesn't lead to that opportunity. So it's I just whole point I'm taking on this is like I was so impressed with what Casey DeSmith did on this, and I would be fascinated for Sam. You probably have next time you get a chance to talk to him or Jeff Reese. I think it'll be a fascinating conversation of okay, what did they do over the last 2 weeks to help Casey get dialed in for this one? Because this is something where there's a lot of things he did where you're like, okay, I can't replicate that in practice. The teams don't practice enough. There's not enough game action for that to happen. You don't work on there's no drill in practice where, hey, we're going to put a puck from right below the dot and drop it 3 feet for a one-timer, right? There's no drill that works on that. And so I'd be fascinated to hear kind of the insight from Casey and the goalie coach Jeffries on what they did to help Casey get dialed in for that and how you kind of keep going through that. So,
John, some would even say he telescoped out.
Oh,
yes, yes.
All right. Up next, we have to break down the third goal and then start submitting your super chats. We'll get to those. Let's have a little fun here. The DLS Stars post-game show after a win over the Preds.
Hey, can you hear that too?
You have the sound on your phone.
Why is that on? Has anybody heard about the DLS merchandise where we got a couple new shirts?
Yes.
Did you guys hear about that?
I haven't heard about it.
Yeah, we get a couple new shirts here. Yeah. Owen's got something to say about the logo on this one. I don't talk about it anymore.
No, you don't.
But I do like it. It's a nice little green shirt and slack. Anyway, so the rumor apparently is if we sell 25 or people buy 25 of these shirts, that we get free shirts from
We're going to get
from
one
the
of
GM.
these. Yep.
And apparently there's another rumor going around out there. If somebody wears this shirt to a Hooters event that we may or may not be at.
December 7th.
Oh, man, I'll throw that out there. That they may get a few beers bought for them.
Would you care to elaborate on that?
Well, no. I mean, I'll buy some beer, but you got to wear your shirt. You got to wear your new shirt.
It's got to be the face-off collection.
Now, do they have to be part of the little schmozzle that's going on after it, or is it anybody?
Well, that's your decision as far as your tab.
What is schmozzle?
I don't know, but if you ever watched
Laverne and Shirley,
Laverne and Shirley, Shamil, schmozzle, I don't know what any of it means. But they worked at a brewery, so that's why I like them. Or she did. One of them did.
Haas and Pfeffer Incorporated, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Okay.
I actually know that not because of Laverne and Shirley, but from Wayne's World, because they did a Laverne and Shirley takeoff.
Wayne's World party time.
Sam?
SNL night last night at the AAC.
Yes.
I thought that was funny. Some Chris Farley tributes. Yeah, while you're going and buying those shirts, why not also jump on YouTube here and join the Supporters Club? Because if you guys can't already see it, the Supporters Club is awesome. It's for the real ones. True sicko level stuff. You get custom emojis. We have newer emojis coming out the more people that join. The Craig Ludwig, the Stanley Cone. I almost dressed up as Stanley Cone for Halloween, by the way. I saw it.
Oh, did you just give away what you're doing for Halloween?
No, because I wasn't there, so I wasn't going to do that. But you get exclusive badges, you get exclusive emojis, and you get some cool behind-the-scenes videos, which I believe we have a new one. It's going to be released soon. So go join the Supporters Club now.
There you have it. Let's get to the third period, and this one was just amazingly one-sided. Really was. For a 2-2 hockey game where either team could win a game, it felt like the exact inverse energy level of the first period, where the Stars looked tired and didn't look like they had a whole lot of gas in the tank. The Nashville Predators, to me, looked like they ran out of gas and they ran out of ideas, because the entire third period, before the power play goal, which we'll talk about in just a moment, and their Nashville push with the extra attacker, the Stars still outchanced them 10-4. Nashville did not, by my count, have one high danger chance in the final 20 minutes. You know what's interesting about that? If I have to do the Mike Heika, what's interesting is the fact that in the third period, Carolina only had one high danger chance. So Luds, we didn't get a chance to play it because we had too much fun in the pregame show with our other elements. But I had a clip of Glenn Gulletson from the this afternoon or whatever time he spoke with Mike Heika and other media in Nashville, saying we're starting to come together. We're trending in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in a tie game or you have a 1-goal lead in the third period and you're not giving up 2, 3, 4 high danger chances, that sounds like progress.
Funny you bring that up. So I was listening to a show today, and remember Randy Carlisle?
Yes.
Okay.
Ex-NHL coach.
Yep. And
player before that, right?
Yep. And Anaheim won a cup with Anaheim. And anyway, Randy Carlisle, Joel Quenneville, listening to him a couple days ago. You know what they all talk about? Playing in your own end. You got to be a good defensive team. And because when you're missing certain players, you can always rely on that defense. And for Gully, when he's talking about coming together, that's where he's starting at. He's starting that we're coming into the right areas of the ice. We're making the right plays. Our exits are getting there. I know we'd like to have a little more offense, I believe, coming off the offensive blue line. I think he points the finger at defenseman probably in that.
Mm-hmm.
That's about getting pucks through and things like that. But when it's coming together like that, it starts back there. And then because when you run into these kind of problems, you're able to hang in games. I mean, we've just seen back-to-back 3-2 games.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a 3-2. It used to be a 3-2 league for a long time.
Yep.
This is a 4-3 league.
At least.
And it's, in the beginning of the year, it could be a 7-4 league.
It was,
you know what I mean?
It still continues to be.
I think when he's talking about that, he's very happy with the steps that they're making. And 3 games ago, we were like, oh my God. And we kept on talking about, man, are they going to get it? Are they going to get it? They're going to get it. And now we're starting to see that they're getting it. And not only that, but it'll frustrate teams. And then you play defense and you frustrate teams. What happens is when you get the lead, now they didn't have it in the last couple of games, but when you get the lead, other teams have to open up. And now the cracks start to open, and that's when you can take advantage of it.
And with a full complement of roster players, Sean, if you have the Matt Duchesnes of the world healthy, you have Rope Hintz is healthy with the guys they already have, and you can counterpunch teams that are chasing the score. This team's so good on the rush. We saw last year. They can feast on that and literally absorb pressure and hit, soccer term, on the counterpress.
Pull your ears.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I watched the. It was interesting. One of the things I like doing for Stars games is I like watching the second period, or I'll pick a period typically, and I'll watch the opposing broadcast. And so I watched the Nashville broadcast during the second period with our pal Chris Mason on there, who was, I believe, one of our guests on the other 32 or the other 31 segments. And it's interesting to sometimes, I like watching those because I like hearing what other teams and they think about how the Stars play and how they approach the game. And they kept on the Nashville broadcast. They kept talking about how much, hey, these zone entries are looking crisp and everything like that. But once you get there, there's nothing available. And it's something that is just, that's a bit of that's the MO. And that's but that's, other people see it and other teams get frustrated by it, where how much I think before the game, Luds was talking about the young defense for the Predators, right? Within the 250 game mark that got thrown out there or whatever. The Stars defensive core, when you look at that group and the way, and I know Liam Bichel is far from that number, but you look at the way this group understands how and where to control the space, especially now that maybe the assistant coach is allowed to do exactly what he wants to on defense. You're allowed they have done a really good job of basically building the moving bunker, I call it at times, where if they're not bunkering down to not attack, but they understand they can give the 6 feet on the fringes to take away the prime areas. So.
All right, let's talk about the final goal, because this was an important one. It was the game winner tonight. On the power play, they had some really good looks earlier in the game. We talked about it in the pregame show. Number 1 rated power play in the NHL coming into tonight's game against a team that had yet to yield a power play goal against at home, and their overall penalty kill has been immaculate, superb. Well, the Stars finally dented that in the third period, Luds.
Yeah, and most of the time when power plays aren't working, you're complaining that it's just on the perimeter. You got to get it to the interior. But here, there are 6 passes. It goes from Steele to Harley, back to Steele, back to Harley, over to Robertson, down to Bork, and then it's the perfect pass from Bork over to Rantanen. I don't know what this defenseman is trying to do here. His problem is he never found where Mikko was.
He looks lost.
Well,
Like,
he was
spinning
spinning around like a top, and I thought it was Barron. I'm not sure the defenseman.
I think
but,
that's Willsby, the young defenseman.
Well, he wills be in the minors if he
won't
plays
be
like
playing
this a little
defense.
more often. I'm just telling you. But I think that again, just it's very hard to make 6 perfect passes. I know those are easier ones because they're on the perimeter, but a lot of times that pucks are bouncing around and things like that. And to finish it off was Rantanen, but Bork makes a great play.
I see what you did there.
Finish.
Nicely done. He said
I
to
heard it
finish
as
it
well.
off.
Did you hear me say
Rantanen.
finish?
The finisher. Buy the
Is
finisher shirt. We have
actually
we have
the
one of those.
layer.
But they don't show me the finisher shirt anymore. so I
No,
don't
just the new ones.
know. But anyway,
It's a big goal for Rantanen because even though he is one of the primary offensive weapons, he's been a lot more of a setup guy than just a shooter. So for him to bury one like that in a pivotal moment, it's still good for your big guys to score goals.
Well, and it's important there. If you go to, again, we don't have to show it, but that's why you put guys, especially on the power play, down by the net on their offsides. So that you can you're on your forehand, you can make that pass across. If you're receiving it as a lefty, you can one time it into the net. The other thing is when that lane doesn't open up, like for Maverick, and we've seen Stankhoven do it a lot, and other guys do it. Wyatt does it, but if you come off that goal line and that pass isn't across the crease, you come off on your forehand, you just try to ram it right through the goaltender, and you create some kind of.
Let me ask you one more thing about Rantanen and Robertson, because they in terms of time on ice, outplayed Miro Heiskanen in minutes on the power play.
Robo tonight was leading minutes tonight.
So Robo played 6:53. 6:36. Rantanen played 6:53, so almost 20 seconds more. Glenn Gulletson, Neil Graham deciding that with Rope Hintz out, they did have an earlier 5-man unit for the second power play unit, but they also kind of decided to let Rantanen and Robertson play both. Why? Because of their styles, can they do that without running out of gas?
Well, because you didn't see they didn't get forced a lot tonight. They were doing a lot of standing around. I thought that if you got only 3-4 bullets in a gun, be hard on those guys, and I don't think Nashville was hard on them a lot tonight, especially on the power play. They were able to stand there. And if you don't move and you're spread out enough, which you saw on that, you see how they're spread out. Guys like this can pick you apart, whether it's through the seams or not. This one they didn't. Maverick was the only one, and he really didn't go through the seam. The only thing he didn't want to do is hit the defenseman's butthole on the way across. That was the only thing that,
I thought it was funny. I was at first thinking, oh, he's going to go right to the net. And then he's looking past, and I'm like, no, go to the net. The pass isn't there. And then I'm like, oh wait, actually the pass is. It was like such a long time, and it's funny he made that pass, especially because I know some guy who just thought Maverick Bork was washed, and he wasn't going to be in the NHL anymore.
I don't know if I would listen to those pundits. Those takes are soft. Oh my goodness, too funny. Second straight night, guys. They have a 6-on-5 situation where they're trying to score on an empty net and defend a lead. Last night, 0 chances. Tonight, Ryan O'Reilly got 1 redirection at the crease. That's it. So in 2 games with the extra attacker against, they gave up 1 scoring chance. And it wasn't really even a high danger one. It really, I think they have the personnel. I think this looks better because if you remember, I'm not saying that the Vancouver game last year where they scored 3 times in the final minute.
Wait. Let me interject. The O'Reilly one wasn't a high danger.
How are we going to stop you?
The O'Reilly one wasn't a high danger chance?
No.
That's the way I heard it too.
What's that?
That only 1 high danger chance.
No, just a scoring chance.
So you don't think the O'Reilly one was a high danger chance?
The tip?
Yeah.
You talking about the tip?
Yeah.
A tip from 6 feet in front of the crease where the goalie is 6'2", and he has to look around him and he has to make you don't think that's a high danger chance?
It just depends on the circumstance, because if there's a redirection and it's like the goalie has to make a move and change, but it just hit him.
That's a quizzical look.
Yeah.
So wait, I'm actually curious. You do high danger from the full play. So if it's a shot right into the stomach, does that matter, or is it just where it's from?
Down on the goal line extended and the goalie's square and you shoot it into his pads, that's not a high danger circumstance. Okay. So I do try to make it a little bit more realistic.
Hit him in the shoulder. He's looking through the screen. That is a play that you're like, I want to draw that play up with the 6-on-5.
Did it hit him in the shoulder? Because I couldn't see it. Okay.
It just, I'm trying to figure out where I'm trying.
Sean is speechless.
He can
He's
be.
without speech.
Let's
Yeah.
get to the super chats.
You want to go to Super Chats?
I
Yeah, I don't like when my parents argue.
What did you say about your parents?
I know as a goalie, you're certainly defending it, but like,
about your parents?
I'm looking at this spot where, like, I think Casey DeSmith was really good in the last minute. I'm about to give him a ton of credit, and you're immediately.
I honestly, but see, that's the tricky thing, Sean, is that they had a couple of shots from like 65 feet, which the goalie still has to make a save on that, but it's not considered a scoring chance, right? It's a shot, but those should never go in.
A tip by Ryan O'Reilly 6 inches in front of the crease is a high danger chance.
6 inches in front of the crease. All right, we'll have to look at it, but we'll continue this debate later because you have an ad read to make, so let's do it now.
I guess so.
He's not going to get over this.
Oh, my God. Let me go check what ad read I have right now. Let's do that.
It's the same one as yesterday at this exact ad break.
Newsletter.
Right, let's talk about the free news.
Hey, Sean.
It's
Hey. That whole conversation there was a bit of a schmozzle.
It was, wasn't
You know the definition of schmozzle?
Yeah, I do. Because
Okay,
Sean texted
because
it to
Sean
us.
said it. A confused situation or affair. We name both of them.
I think that's very Schmozzle-like.
And we also need to look at schlemazel as well, which is basically the definition of Sam Nestler. If you look at the other word I said, schlemazel, if we're giving
Okay,
Yiddish
Laverne,
today.
you got 20 seconds
Appreciate
left.
it.
So, anywho, free newsletter. Unlike the free newsletter is always high quality, even though Owen might not think it's a high quality newsletter. High quality newsletter for free.
Here we go.
You get everything you need on the DLS sports scene, just like today. You know what? Stars won. Cowboys had a game as well, allegedly. The Mavericks went and won a basketball game. Tomorrow, you're going to get all of that first thing newsletter. Check it out. Join the newsletter, alldls.com/newsletter. It's free. It's great. Join it.
All right, let's talk about being a DLLS diehard. Now, you may be just trashing on the newsletter, which I would never do because Ollie's here. He was doing the Cowboy show tonight. He did a great job. And let me tell you, that's free, but you should be a diehard anyway because you can get a free t-shirt like the new Face Off Collection shirt or anything that you wear. Maybe the Ottinger shirt, maybe the Finnish Mafia. You could read yes, I see Sean. I was actually going to give Sean a different shout out, but he is wearing the shirt because you could read one of the articles that maybe a guy bashes a player for just not being good enough, and then he goes out and has a great game. So you should listen to that because that is why you sign up to be a diehard here on alldlls.com. Okay, but we're not done.
Ryan, are you okay? You seem sad.
No, he's okay.
I'm great.
Okay, just checking in.
No. Before we're not.
I don't want you to leave us like
we're not
John
done
did.
bagging on Sean right
Yeah,
now.
we're running out of
Because
producers. Let's not.
If we got to keep Ryan.
I want to keep everyone
healthy here.
happy.
If you didn't catch the pregame show tonight, you might not have noticed that one of the hosts decided to make a rather drastic appearance change. This is, I don't know.
That's like your drunk uncle right there.
Can I say I was going to say that. I don't want to do that one. Maybe can we say like Lost in the Woods Hermit Sean?
Got a backpack full of bud in Colorado. That's what that guy looks like.
I was going to say that he escaped his captors, but I don't know if that's going too far. The continuity error of a Hollywood movie production would not be happy with the yin and yang of Sean today.
I had multiple people on the chat saying, "Are we sure that's Sean?" No, have not confirmed. Although, yeah, he yelled at Owen, so yes, it's Sean.
I love it. Somebody said it's the Sean Cave because it's dark and he got a full beard on. So, all right, let's get to the super chats. We have lots more. Apparently, somebody said Sean looked baked in that picture too. It's also hard to stop a guy in the middle of a conversation when your eyes are moving and it happens. Anyway, let's go to the super chats.
Bing bang. Bing bang.
I'm going to start with Michael Moore with a Haskinen 99. Mav really seemed to be turning into a solid player. What best back-to-back wins do for a depleted team like ours? I didn't even cue that one up. That's just perfect.
That was beautiful. Sean can answer it.
Sean, do you have anything to say about Michael's super chat?
As someone said to me, now I think someone else said in the chat, now that I ripped on the Nashville goalie tonight, he's going to go and win the Vezina Trophy. So basically, I'm going to start a business where I just I will make fun of you, and then you go off and have great success in life. So let's that must be the case. So.
Does Sean own a floral shop or?
No, I believe they have a few plants in the house.
Yeah.
These are all flowers that were grown in the backyard in the garden here, and they are all dry, and then they have been placed on the wall by my wife. So they
homegrown.
Very,
cool.
Yes.
Very
Nice.
dainty. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Don't forget to get in your super chats. We have another one, but if you want to do this before we get all silly, now's a good time to do it.
Bing bong.
We got some time.
Oh.
Let's talk to Justin with a Madonna and 99 Cup here. Why does it feel like every goalie plays like Patrick Waugh against us?
I think that's good. You bear down. Maybe you're shooting him directly into the heart or into the stomach or something like that every once in a while. But goaltenders are, and other players, when you play against good teams, you have to be at your best, or you could get run out of the building. So I think that there's teams in the league, and Dallas is one of them, that you feel that, and I think you as coaches, you zero in on a lot of things and be prepared. Otherwise, when they've got certain kind of guys that can take advantage of it and turn it into a less than interesting night for your fans, they get a little bit more dialed in than probably other teams.
Yeah, Sean, is there anything to that whole thing? Because I hear that all the time. You can look at a million different backups that have played lights out against Dallas, or is that every fan base kind of has that?
I mean, I do think every fan base believes that backup goalies kill them. I think you would go around anytime someone tweets out, "Oh, this backup starting," you will find at least 4 to 5 replies right away of, "Oh my God, we're going to lose because it's a backup goalie." So I think that's part of just hockey lore and everything like that across fan bases. I do think there is something to when it comes. The Stars are a team that, as Luds said, it's not just I think it's every team. They bring more to the Stars. They bring more when they play the Stars. It's easy to get up to play the Stars right now. Them and Edmonton are the class of the Western Conference because Florida's won back-to-back championships. There's only one team where you can be like, oh, we can go test ourselves against a recent champ. So I think there's a lot of teams. There's a lot of teams I know that will go when they play Dallas and when they play Edmonton and Vegas. They'll be like, hey, this is who we need to measure up against. So it's easy for other teams to bring that fight to the Stars. And it's a lot easier to play it's a lot easier to have that tank going than as opposed to going to, I don't know, Buffalo on a Wednesday night or something like that. So
it's a perfect word to use because forever they've been called measuring stick games. You want to know where are we in our development? Where do we got to get to compete with these guys or get past or through these guys?
And that's the thing is that the reputation is such that even if the Stars were on a cold streak, which they were just a couple of days ago, they are still under the reputation of being, the Stars, they're a really good team. So even if we see and we watch it, and scrutinize it, go, I don't know if they're playing that well. Other teams are going to be seeing this and saying, guys, this is a team that people are picking for, look at what they've done in the playoff success. Look at who they have. The NHL is such a big proponent around the league of what have you done in the past? Because if you've done it, you can probably replicate it. I know Jim Nill talks about it all the time. He's big on resumes. Guys, a 30-goal scorer before, he can probably figure it out again and give him a chance to do that. So you're going to see every of these teams hold Dallas in high regard. And I wonder if it's a bit of a perspective, meaning when we talk about the goalies having great moments, maybe when Dallas scores 5 or 6 on a team and a goalie doesn't have a great night, we see it more as look at what the offense did. And when goals go in on Jake Ottinger or Casey DeSmith, we think of what could they have done differently to prevent it, because that's we're so Stars focused. And I'm not just talking about us on the show. I'm talking about Stars fans. I'm talking about Stars players, right? Every goalie, Sean, is thinking about how they could have done it. Even if it's a great shot, they might go, I could have done this, I could have done that. And so that's one of the reasons why when we did the all other 31, I'm so fascinated with a different perspective, because they're looking at it from their team's eyes, not necessarily the Stars. And they go, wow, I would kill to have what you guys have. And we're sitting there going, I don't know if it's enough.
Well, and I think part of that is there's a very tribal nature to the NHL. And when you talk about you focus so much on your team, there's just too much hockey. The schedule is too, especially this year, for you to really watch. You have to be a real sicko to watch other games, right? Because if you say you're a Stars fan and you're the person watching this show and we love you, you're committed to watching Stars hockey 82 nights a year. Are you really going to spend the time to watch the rest of the league? Not very often. Just that's just the reality. So
You just don't have enough time in the day.
Exactly, and that's just the thing. Honestly, it's the reason I'm probably going to get my PHWA card yanked for saying this. It's the reason a lot of writers probably shouldn't vote on awards because not enough of them watch the league on a whole. So I wait Wino's call right now, and I'm sorry. But that's the reality of it. So I think everything is, oh my God, we did great or we did terribly, and it's not so often. We sometimes remember the other team is having their own kind of is trying to win the game as well. I think that's the big part of it. So that's the reason the backup thing. Luds, I was curious for you. You come in, you enter the NHL, and you go to Montreal, and you go to a team that you guys are a measuring stick, right? Even when Montreal right now isn't they're kind of going through their rebuild right now with St. Louis and everything like that. People go there and they're still a measuring stick because of the atmosphere. When's the first time for you that you had a measuring stick, that kind of moment in your NHL career where you actually went somewhere and you're like, we're playing somebody where I have to measure up? Like what was your measuring stick when you entered the league?
You're talking about a team. I think for me then it was Quebec at the time. Right. Because you're right up the road. It's such a huge rivalry. You knew what kind of game it was going to be. And, and you had to be able to stand up and compete in that kind of a game. But because of all the noise outside those buildings, because you have to live with it. If you lose, you have to live with it. You got the French media overpowering you in Quebec, even though it's a small city. And then you've got Montreal being a bigger city, and you're supposed to beat those guys, but it's such a big rivalry. So I look at those guys, and we had so many battles. Boston was the other one, obviously.
Boston, Montreal.
I mean, again, you're talking about original, not Quebec, but original 6 teams. But when Boston, their fans travel so well, and it was another heated rivalry because of the past. My biggest challenge was my own self. You know what I mean? That was my own self, is being able to play a game and do enough to be able to be in the lineup the next night with surrounded by a bunch of great players and legends over there in Montreal.
I wouldn't have thought to ask this until Sean asked you, and you mentioned Quebec City. How did you guys?
Dagobert. Oh.
No, not that.
Oh, I thought you meant what bar?
I thought you would have said Club Maurice, but that's across the street. No. But
Easies.
You have Quebec City and Montreal is about, 2.5, 3 hour drive. How would you get to Quebec as a team?
Bus.
Would you ride as opposed to fly?
If it was just one game, we would bus there, and there was a nice little a liquor store there, and you would get your own beer, and you'd get it for the bus ride back and stuff like that. But otherwise, you would fly from there to Quebec, and then to Boston or
like
to
wherever
Hartford.
else you were going.
Yeah, if it was, and they were just short little trips.
How far is it?
It's a bus ride?
It's about 250 kilometers. It's like 3 hour ride.
Yeah, it's 2.5 hours, I think it was. It is like a 12-pack.
Nothing like the flight from Carolina to Washington, D.C., right, Sean?
We have our guy
Sam,
T.O.
This is all you.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
All that
a
you.
Ludwig and
Wash
a 99
hands.
cup here. What is all over Lud's shirt?
Who's sports guy? Who
Yeah,
knows sport? Is that you?
That's T.O., man.
No, you. Look at Ryan over
T.O.'s
there.
coming
No,
to
he's dying.
Coming to the takeover, so he's real.
No. He's giggling
laughing,
back
but
there.
Yeah, he didn't do it.
Yeah, he had somebody. You did. You initiated this whole thing.
I don't think
You're sitting right next to me, and you can't figure it out. So I know nobody on there watching on their computer.
Poor Sean has no idea what's going on because
I don't think
you weren't privy to this
Ryan
conversation.
can't even speak right now.
Yeah.
He knows it's him.
I feel like
he set me up.
Camo.
Yeah, it's camel.
It's hunting.
Not camel.
Did you say camel? Lud's a big camel fan.
What kind of camel?
All right. We have
double
a show.
hump camel.
Y'all just want to walk me right into trouble every night.
I always say Luds is really good at getting his toes right to the edge of the Grand Canyon, not
got a little
falling
hump
off.
on its back.
Thank you very much for tuning in
lot of
tonight.
hump,
We have a
depending
show
on where
tomorrow,
you're asking.
Monday, 2 o'clock. No rest for the weary. No days off for us. The team's off. We'll be here at 2 tomorrow. For Luds, for Sam, for Sean, for Ryan, I'm Owen. See ya.
Schmazel.
We all silly like the mayor.